We've come to this like $1 trillion view.
Pode ir na frente, não aguarde a gente. O jeito que o bondinho embalar te assusta, mas nós tá somando.
People make this 6 hours and 2 minutes I play.
You don't have to live here to know that the main problem is sewage.
Ela pra comer.
Ninguém quer.
É balsamico.
Mercy! Imagina esse ano se esse hit pega.
Mas olha agora, o canalha chegou.
Following day, piranha.
Do you wanna die?
Okay, so welcome back to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, city I've wanted to come to my whole life. Obviously today, you can see by the title, we're going into a favela. But before we do that, I just want to show you something. Check it out. Okay guys, so we've come to the bottom of this massive favela behind us here. It's very like a postcard kind of scene here, right? Rocinha.
Rocinha.
And this is Guilherme, and he's going to show us around. Can you just tell us a bit about this area and our plans basically to walk through, meet some people? And
Right, so back in the days, in the 30s until 50s, used to be a farmer. People that were living here, they were just selling fruits and vegetables, and people from the high society from the bottom of the hill were just buying the fruits and vegetables.
The first thing that comes to many people's mind is crime, especially in these areas and in Brazil in general and Rio and things. And so crime is really quite prevalent here, right?
It is, but believe me or not, only 1% of the people from the slums are criminals.
Right.
Speaking of the number of population in Rio, which is like almost 7 million people, I would say almost 30% of Rio's population come from the favela. Most of the soccer players come from the favela. Artists, musicians, all the good talent people, man.
Right, yeah.
So it's more, look,
It gets you emotional, right?
Emotionally.
Yeah, because like I hope that we can kind of showcase that, right? Because people are thinking of drugs and narcos and things like that, but that's like you say 1%. So
1%, man. They're all good people. Like people that work in your hotel as a waiter.
Right.
The bell captain, the guy that, you know, carry your luggage, all the good people. They made that clean your room.
We're gonna get a motorbike and we're gonna head up, right?
Absolutely. We'll be able to visit some people's house, connect with people.
Where you from, bro? New Zealand. New Zealand?
Yeah.
Welcome to Favela da Rocinha. Let's go, let's go!
You lived here your whole life?
Yes. Like, I didn't born here. I just born 2 hours from here.
And why did you come here?
Because my mom got married with one guy from here. Was because of this favela that I got some opportunity to travel in the world. I lived in Sweden for 1.5 years.
Sweden?
Yeah,
Wow.
I got married there.
You got married?
Yeah, I was married. Then we broke up. I wanted to come back to my
And do you feel safe living here?
Yes. Like this is the most safe part of the Rio de Janeiro, because if you go to Ipanema, Leblon, Copacabana, there for you that come from another country, it's gonna be so dangerous. Another people can steal from you, know. Like here we got a law. You know, the drug dealers say, oh, no one can steal from here. If you steal, man, they're gonna cut your hands.
Oh well, man, thank you very much.
Yeah,
legend. Obviously, coming into an environment like this, you know, our preconceived ideas can often get the best of us, and you know, of course, there is danger here. Like, let's be honest, it's run by narcos, drug dealers, but. Like we were just hearing from my amazing motorbike rider there, he was saying, you know, there's certain rules that the narcos and the gangs put in place saying don't rob anybody, respect people, otherwise we'll be the police and we'll take stronger action than the police could. Really nice people and such a positive kind of vibe around here, you know. So we're going to head up, walk down some of the streets, see if we can meet some more people, and so far it's incredible. We met a man called Vitor, and he's a rapper, so he's going to give us a bit of a preview of his work.
Imagina esse ano se esse hit pega, pode me pedir o que quiser que pelo tu te arrega. Munição pra fazer um testinho, meu brinquedo não nega. Gloca dá no baile e ela joga, se esfrega, né? Não é que eu tô calmo com o bonde, hits e hits, no canto que chapou. Eu tava bravo essa aqui,
You wanna go to his studio after?
Yeah, that'd be sweet. So this is another Guilherme, and you're like our feet on the ground, right?
Yeah.
You're our local contact in the favela here. And so you were just saying it's quite interesting because we've got like $1 million houses right here, and then up here, and it seems to be quite integrated.
The favelas in the south, they are located on top of the mountain, so have good views.
$1
Million dollar views. Yeah. We are pretty close to everything.
Right.
Sometimes just one street used to disappear. The favela and a good neighborhood, rich neighborhood. There's a house that it's considered the most expensive house in Brazil.
Wow.
It's about like 220 million reais.
Okay.
It's a lot of money. So
Right.
it's impressive and pretty close to us.
Uh-huh.
In the city, you have more than 700 favelas.
Wow.
Yeah, it's impressive. And this one is the biggest one of the city. It's the biggest one.
In Brazil.
And it's one of the biggest one in Brazil.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere.
So Guilherme was just telling me an interesting point, right? He was saying like all these cables and things, they're all kind of hijacked from the
From the electricity.
Right, and so you as a citizen of Rio, you have to pay an extra 30% on your bill to cover the expenses here.
Yeah, because the electricity company won't keep the loss, right?
Right.
They would have to
Get the money from somewhere.
get the money from somewhere,
Right.
and they don't pay for water.
Right.
Some of the slums, they kind of like encourage people to pay like a minimal fee, like, okay, start paying 20 reais, whatever you can, you know.
Uh-huh.
But man, people get addicted for not paying, right?
Yeah, of course.
They're used to, they don't want to
Yeah.
pay.
Free money,
Right? Free
right.
money.
Right,
That's it.
But how do they do the water? You were saying that they like
Oh, they
drill
steal
into
from the
the
pipes,
ground,
yeah.
and connect to the pipe.
Yeah, they get into some permit connections.
Right.
So they just cut the pipe and start getting the water from someone else.
And the government doesn't want to like step in, or like what's
Well,
the deal with that?
They always find illegal connections, but in the slum, as is run by the narco, it's difficult for them to come here to regulate.
So it's like a combination of corruption and gangs.
Absolutely. Also, they don't have sewage. Brazil really need to invest in sewage and education.
Wow, Nova Zelândia, yes, good place. And
Nice, man.
yeah. Nice to meet you. 6 hours and 2 minutes I play this position. 6 hours and 2 minutes. Don't stop.
He already has a contract from Guinness Book.
Yes,
So
I have the contract.
we need the media to authorize the result.
This position, I bumped the ball 2,210 times. Don't stop.
And so he just carries around the ball everywhere he goes.
Yeah, because he wants to show.
So he's cleaning the streets, but then stops
Yeah.
to do football. He's paid by the
He
government.
paid by the government. And it's really hard to get into this company, man.
Right.
Really hard. Cresce tudo pro alto, tá vendo?
So we're just being invited into a house
Fala pra
here.
eles aí, não repara a bagunça. Pode, entra, não tem problema.
So here's the kitchen.
Make yourself at
Okay,
home.
thank you. Extremely hospitable and welcoming people, like beyond, nice.
Most of the people that live in the favela, they are migrants from northeast of Brazil. At the beginning, people were looking for like job opportunity here in Rio and São Paulo. So they came from the countryside of Brazil.
Porque aqui, cara, cada vez que eu vejo aquela turma aqui, eu fico feliz de visitar nossa favela.
He gets so excited, so happy to see us here. It's such a pleasure. He gets so emotional. He gets excited. He loves people to come to his favela, right?
Essa é minha mãe.
That's his mom. He's been living here almost 6 decades, 58 years. He's saying like the advantage, like the best part of living in Rocinha, that everything is nearby. He can go to the drugstore, he can go to the supermarket, the beach is nearby, So everything it's walk distance, and that's the best part of living in Rocinha. He has no desire to leave Rocinha.
Right.
He has no desire.
What's his least favorite part?
A parte que eu menos gosto daqui não é de não morar, é de não ver esses esgotos ser
The least favorite part of living in Rocinha has no sewage. So when there's like heavy rain, floods get into his house, and a lot of rats, the disease from the rat's pee.
Okay.
So a lot of people die for leptospirosis. You don't have to live here to know that the main problem is sewage.
Aí, Hamidu!
Ó, aqui tá muito bagunçado.
That was his living room. Downstairs, he is just kind of like second floor. That's his room.
Another, there's two fridges.
Aqui eu
Two fridges.
Right.
Yeah.
Pode filmar à vontade, aqui não
Tá
tem.
bom.
Porque tá faltando uma
That's
fase.
his room.
Esse aqui tá faltando uma fase de luz, aí eu tive que puxar isso aqui um bico.
Are you using the bike?
He's using.
You exercising?
Porque eu
Yeah.
ia,
He used to go jogging on the
Deixa
beach, and
top
now
na
because
praia.
of the diabetes,
Aí eu passo
he
mal.
gets a little bit dizzy.
Deixa eu botar no papel. Aí o cara vai ver eu fazendo, e gordo.
Tem.
2 horas de manhã, quando eu
2
acordo,
hours in the morning when
e
he opens
2
up,
horas da noite.
and 2 in the evening.
2
2
horas da noite.
hours
4 hours a day.
a day. And
Duas de manhã,
what do you
duas-
eat for lunch?
Salada,
Salad,
Hoje eu comi uma carninha ensopada,
like some
carninha ensopada,
jerk beef,
peixe, hoje eu comi peixe.
fish.
You need to chill. You don't know me like that. You got a problem, you can meet me out back. Look, I don't mean to be a sound rash, just hear me out. We don't need
So Guilherme, we've come to this like $1 trillion view, right?
Yes,
It's
trillion, not million.
it's unimaginable,
Yeah,
right?
right in front of us is one of the upscale neighborhood called São Conrado. It's one of the highest property tax in Brazil. We have almost 800 favelas, 800 slums in Rio. Most of the slums are run by the narco. They're dominating by different drug gangs.
So what's it like living here? Because on the way here this morning you showed me a video that was happening right at that moment of a carjacking, and there was a guy with a gun, and obviously
Right.
that's very common all over the city. Probably right now that's happening somewhere, right? So
Yeah,
what's
no-
it like for you living here?
We don't get happy when people say, oh, it must be normal for you. It's not normal. We're just trying to survive. We be very thankful when we get home safe.
So every time you step out the door, you're in the back of your mind, or
Always.
even in the front, you're worried.
I'm never relaxed.
Really?
I'm relaxed here right now because I know I'm safe.
So that's super ironic, because most
Yeah.
people would never imagine that
Yeah.
you, as living here, you feel the safest in the favela than you do in
Exactly.
your own neighborhood.
Yeah, because I always say that the criminals work where we live. We live in the tourist area, Copacabana, Ipanema, Leblon. That's where all the hotels are. That's where all the money are, right? Why we feel safer here? Because there is a law by the drug dealers that you have to follow the laws, the rules. You're not allowed to rob here because you get attention by the police.
Right.
And their main income is selling drugs.
Right, so they don't want the police coming in here, they want them out.
Exactly.
So they do
And
their business elsewhere and they bring it
outside,
back here. Yeah.
outside, far away from here.
None of these buildings have permits, they're just illegal kind of housing. How did that start though? Because surely if somebody started building something, you know,
Yeah.
originally the government would have said, can you not?
The first favela was built in around 1888, and the government was silent because they were getting votes.
Right, right.
So look, Nick, as long as you vote on me,
Yeah.
I allow you to build a house, and it's okay. Bring your family from northeast of Brazil,
And
no
now
problem.
it's just everywhere.
Now I don't know. People say it's like over 300,000 people. You know. Seu Raimundo. Seu Raimundo. São.
Reclama aí.
Nova Zelândia. Nova Zelândia. Nova Zelândia.
Nova Zelândia.
Nova Zelândia.
É um país bom.
Bom.
É lá na história, lá, ó.
O que tem lá?
Metido lá. Nova Zelândia eu sei que é um bom país, mas já estudei sobre isso tudo. Mas agora esqueci um pouco.
He's talking about one of the politics. One of our governors who is in jail, robbed over 1 billion reais. I was teasing him, asking him if he likes the guy.
Right.
And he was saying, are you crazy? I hate this guy.
Gringo.
Gringo. Hey. So they've also got this beautiful amphitheater here. So I guess they have local concerts. And now we're going to MC Piloto's recording studio to hear more of his rap that we heard earlier. But yeah, you can see there's lots of talented people here, you know, it's not just guns and crime. It happens, but it's only a small piece of the puzzle, you know. There's so much more that goes in these hives of life. This is your studio.
Aqui é o estúdio.
Oh, beautiful.
Aqui é a minha filha que eu falei que faleceu. Essa aqui é a minha agora, minha caçula. E essa aqui é a que faleceu. Essa aqui é a minha avó, que chamam de mãe, que faleceu também ano passado. A minha filhinha já vai fazer 10 anos. Essa aqui vai fazer agora em março 3 anos, tem 2 anos e 10 meses. Sabe o piloto não para, com a exclusão não se compara. Se tu fala, se repara, se prepara que eu vou cara mano a mano. 5 minutos, só sequência na sua cara. Só quem arrisca investir vai correr o risco dos lucros. Fiz meu plantio no passado, hoje só colho os frutos. Essa inveja eu não curto, é mancada, mano, eu surto. Os comédios fica puto que nós tá absurdo. Pode ir na frente, não aguarde a gente. O jeito que o bondinho embalar te assusta, mas nós tá somando logo no abrotamo, tipo uma Ferrari ultrapassando o Fusca. Somos de outra vida, ficou no passado, mas tá na minha mente como eu não sei. Eu ouço vozes, bato neuroses, tipo sou o Logan, ela é a Joey.
Is all the equipment that he's saved from doing motorbike taxi, or is he making money off his music? Or
He sold his car.
he sold this car.
Make any money with the music. He wanted an opportunity. He sold his car to build his studio. 17k Brazilian real.
What's the dreams for his music career? What would he like to do?
Oh, he wants to be one of the main guys of the rap music in Rio. I would say in Brazil.
And would you mind asking how he sees his future?
Eu enxergo muito potencial em mim, tenho muita fé em mim, acredito muito em mim, tá ligado? E eu sei que eu vou longe, mano. Sem saber fazer, eu aprendi. Porque eu quis aprender, eu sei que eu vou porque eu quero.
He only needs an opportunity to launch.
Does he have an Instagram that we can share?
He has.
I'll write it on the screen.
Yeah.
Ela pra comer, pode, aí, ó. Vou
tirar uma foto assim.
Eles poderes de Rambo, eu tenho facão. Ok, okay, thank you very much.
How's it for you, Diego?
33 years living here, and this is the first time, and it's quite overwhelming. Just by standing at my own house, I don't feel that as a privilege. But when I go to a favela place and I see that if I lived there, I couldn't be standing in my own house. Right. So just the fact of being standing is a privilege. This is mind-blowing. I never thought about it.
Right.
We think about, I don't know, having nice clothes is a privilege, or having a car is a privilege.
Yeah.
But like just the fact of being erect.
Yeah, being able to stand.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've come into this gallery here. We've met a lovely lady called Barbara. Barbara's running a non-profit organization here where you look after the people, you feed them, you clothe them, you have a nice area here, like a library. Is there a way that people at home watching can help?
Our mission is education. We strongly believe that only education may change a life, and the individual that gets education may change society. So that's what mainly interests us. Of course, as we are no profit, we have donations, we survive on this. People living in a favela are human beings. They've got the right to be recognized for their dignity and for their resilience. Money helps, of course, but mainly is your heart that we need. Of course we have got violence, of course we have got criminality, as everywhere in the world. But this is not the characteristic of a favela. The right to be alive, the right to be recognized as human being and as citizen. That's it.
Absolutely beautiful. So if somebody wanted to donate some money, like, can you give an example? How much money will buy what?
A lunch, 10 reais.
So with less than $2, you can buy somebody lunch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You see, we give kids something to draw, but we give homework to do.
Homework.
So, yeah, so they will have to show us what they do.
Right.
And then we give every kid a lunch.
Okay.
And this is £1 each.
Right.
£1 is
Nothing. Yeah. So
adult.
you're combining food with education.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Because how can they study if they feel hungry?
Right.
So we give them weapons for their culture, for their education, but we give them food.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, I'll leave all the information for anybody watching this video below, and they can look at your website and help out.
Yeah,
there.
sure.
Okay. Thank you. Grazie mille.
Grazie a te.
Sugarcane, super refreshing in this extremely hot weather. What a day that was. I mean, so lucky to be able to experience that. There were parts of the day we couldn't film. I was told to put the camera down and kind of try and hide it. We were walking past gang members with huge machine guns, and then there were a few guys walking down the alleyways with pistols and things. Of course, there is that danger there. I'm not telling you by any means, full disclaimer, to just go wandering into a favela. Not a good idea, okay? You gotta have systems in place. I'm not saying it's all butterflies and rainbows in there, okay? It's obviously not. You got to be careful. It's not for the faint of heart. I absolutely loved it, and what I'm going to take away from it is just the people. You know, we were welcomed in there, and it had a really calm atmosphere, you know, most of the time. The overwhelming majority of the day, I felt completely relaxed, and I was really enjoying myself being in there. I just want to say a huge thank you to Guilherme and Rafaela. They have a YouTube channel, and they also do tours in Rio. I'll leave that information linked below, and if you're ever in the area, definitely hit them up. They'll look after you, and they're great fun, you know. Again, thank you to Barbara for showing us her beautiful work. She came all the way from Italy to live here. She's lived here 20 years. The reason she breathes, the reason she gets up in the morning is to help people. It really hit me hard when she said, yeah, we would love donations. We're really grateful. Obviously, we need money to function. But what she wants you to know most is the people there have dignity, and they're human beings. They're not all criminals like a lot of people assume. She had a certain aura to her. She was a beautiful soul. It's not often you get to meet people like that are just shining so bright for good. So that was beautiful. So I'm going to leave Barbara's information below, and please check it out if you want to chip in. This isn't a big campaign like my past campaigns or anything. It's not going to be publicized, but her PayPal information is below. But like she said, the main thing that she wants from you is to understand that these are human beings, and they have dignity, they have goals, they're not, you know, all drug kingpins and things and criminals. So that's what I'm gonna end the video on, because I think that should be the moral of today's story. In the next video, we're gonna go to another favela, and then we're gonna go to some rich areas, and then see some things in between, just to try and paint a bit more of a picture of Rio. It's a very diverse city. There's so much going on here. It's equally charming and overwhelming and everything. So thank you for watching, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Thank you.
People living in a favela are human beings. They've got the right to be recognized for their dignity and for their resilience. Money helps, of course, but mainly it's your heart that we need.